It's motorsport stripped to the core. Competition down to earth and flying high. It is rally. This is the East Coast Bullbars Australian Rally Championship. The end of a sensational year for the ARC, the first full year of the two-wheel drive era. A year dominated by the fight between Honda and Renault that came to a climax last round. With 3 years' experience under his belt, Eli Evans was always going to be hard to beat in a two-wheel drive, as Scott Pedder discovered. In the end, Eli edged out his adversary to capture his second championship and comes to Rally Victoria, ready to extend his record-winning streak. He and Glenn Weston will be out to make it 12 rally wins in a row, eclipsing Possumborn's record that stood for more than a decade. Pedder, meantime, now has to watch his teammate Tom Wilde, who's ready and waiting to displace him. An informed Brendan Reeves is without his sister Rhiannon this week. In her place is the experienced co-driver Glenn McNeil. Rhiannon, who tied the knot recently with Ken Block's co-driver Alex Gelsomino, and is setting up home in the USA. Only 26 points separate the two Renaults, so all eyes will be on their performance this weekend. With better mechanical reliability, Brendan Reeves should consolidate fourth, while Mark Pedder will be keen to help Honda win the manufacturer's trophy.
Well, we're here in Victoria for the 6th round of the East Coast Bullbars Australian Rally Championship. Now, down here, they say there can be 4 seasons in one day. Well, it's true to form. It's been pouring down overnight, and now the sun is trying to peek through these rain clouds. Now, even though the championship has been won, this final round has bragging rights up for grabs. Now, both Honda and Renault are going to go for it, add a Mazda into the mix, and it's going to be a great wrap for 2013.
We've done a whole year in the car now, and it's really making some good steps forward all the time, and I'm enjoying driving it and can't wait to get out on these roads.
Development on the car over Christmas was crucial to our results this year, and the boys put in the hard work and it's been paying off all year. So the Honda Jazz is just a well-sorted car. There's no improvements I wish for it anymore. There's no wish list anymore. It's basically, I think it's at its full capability, and we're just enjoying driving it.
Yeah, I think we've had a good year. I think probably looking back, we've deserved to have a win. We've obviously had a few heat wins there, and but the event win eluded us. So this weekend's all about trying to resurrect that and storm home and try and win the Manufacturers' Championship and have a win at home.
For Mick Patton, winning in the Repco VW is not the objective. He's grabbed some of Michael Bowden's engine development and is looking forward to this round.
Yeah, Michael did some camshaft modifications before Coffs Harbour and found that his performance down low was a lot better and made the car a lot easier to drive in all the tighter stuff. So we did that in between Coffs and here. We did a zero car duties at a Bateman's Bay round a couple of weeks ago at a state level, and the car worked really well.
It's also the rallyschool.com.au junior final this weekend. The winners from each of the rounds have gathered to see who is the quickest. After wrecking his BMW last event, Henry Knott has disengaged the rear drive on his Lancer to compete in the final.
I'm sort of just trying to show them they can get out there and have a bit of fun and not just leave their cool cars in the shed.
His might not be a serious tilt at the junior title, but local Glenn Raymond's is.
I don't have a lot of local knowledge. I've only done this event once, but hometown, everyone gets behind you, a little bit more motivation, so hopefully I can use that and go as fast as I can.
Scott Jackson's also in a rear-wheel drive car and likes what he sees.
Most of the roads should be pretty good with my car. A lot of fast stuff, some nice twisty stuff which I enjoy. I like the technical stuff.
One of the shining stars from the 2013 season is Steve McKenzie, and this weekend is about winning and being noticed for next year.
Well, this weekend we're just really worried about Glenn and Henry and Scott, so hopefully we can keep in front of them, and that'll give us a bit of confidence heading into next year.
Mackenzie's Ford Fiesta is for sale, and for good reason.
Next year, pretty much we've got the same sort of base car, but current shape with a new 1.6 turbo engine in it. So we'll be building that to the same sort of rules as the Mazda and the Hondas. So fingers crossed it should be a lot quicker.
If the power stage was anything to go by, then Mackenzie was a winner. Second fastest qualifier behind Eli Evans, but couldn't convert that into a podium when it counted most, wiping out the driver's mirror and sliding wide to allow the Renaults of Wilde and Pedder through under pressure. Tom Wilde and Bill Hayes came into this round hoping to knock out their teammates Scott Pedder and Dale Moscott to grab second in the championship. And the Pedder's power stage was just the start they'd been looking for. Brendan Reeves' start was a disaster, the slippery surface forcing the Mazda into touch with the fence to miss the cut by just 1/10 of a second. His loss was Mark Pedder's gain, 2 Hondas in the power stage, although he and Claire Dowling didn't collect any bonus points. No, it wasn't a new co-driver for Mark Pedder. Seems this was the weekend for title changes, the Honda co-driver reverting to her maiden name. Just how that will work for the statisticians in future remains to be seen. Eli Evans and Glenn Weston won the Pedder's power stage but made a meal of the 2.1 kilometre run. A strainer post on the Coates higher hairpin would easily have knocked them out. The rest of the run best summed up by the driver.
We kept going and I made another mistake coming on. I thought, there's no way, and we crossed the finish line, and when Glenn told me the time, couldn't believe it. I'm like, really? We get that.
And with that, we'll take a break. When we come back, the final round of the East Coast Bullbars Australian Rally Championship begins in earnest on the Forest Roads of Rally Victoria. Adder River is the first of 2 stages this heat that will be repeated. The track is narrow and slippery. Scott Pedder and Dale Moscott blast out of the blocks. The Swiss Renault is on fire.
34 left down.
By the halfway point at 7 kilometres in, they are a massive 10 seconds quicker than either Evans or Reeves.
Oh, shit. Oh, that was a bit solid.
But it's not the first time Pedder has been the fastest on stage and failed to finish. His last chance to win a rally this year firmly lodged in the Flora.
No.
With both stages repeated, there will be no chance to retrieve the car for service. Heat 1 over for Scott Pedder. Both Reeves and Evans are 10 behind Pedder at this point, but the Mazda is quicker over the second half of the stage by more than a second a k.
Short right 7 over finish.
Evans playing the safety card early in the rally.
50, right 9, left 7 late. Whoa. That was a challenge.
It was a challenge, mate. We'll probably get smashed on time, but it was bloody tricky.
Yeah.
Amber opens 9. Finish.
I took it a bit easy, but oh well, we got through it.
Hey?
It's pretty slippery, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The measured pace of the fastest 3 finishers is clear. Tom Wilde is just 2 seconds behind Evans, but third overall, thanks to his teammate. Glenn Raymond is the quickest of the juniors, opening his account with a 5-second advantage over Steve Mackenzie.
Brown 7 left mid.
Mick Patton is 6th across the 14 kilometres of Adder River.
Brown 9 left short 50. 9 left short over Brown 70. 8 right and 5 right, Titans 4. This is 8 right and 5 right, Titans 4. Here's 5, Titans 4. Titans 4. Into 5 left. Into short 9 right. Here's short 9, stay right over brow, 6 left, slippery if wet. Here's a 6 left, slippery if wet, 70. 6 left long. Here's 6 long. Long. Straight 100. Straight 100, 9 left, into in, 9 right rough. So 9 left into. In, 9 right rough, and 7 left slippery if wet. Here's 7, slippery if wet. Into short 9 right. Here's short 9 and short 10 right, 100. 9 left, hold into 7 right.
Leading the second Honda home by 6.4 seconds.
10 left, slippy, 25 right, repeat entry, 0 left.
Guns is an extended version of the stage used last year. At 14 k's in length, it's a road surface to the Raymond's liking.
And this is RX7 country coming up.
Glenn and Matt beat Wilde and Pedder, holding third behind the Honda Jazz and Mazda 2. Again though, Reeves has the measure of Evans by 2 seconds, extending his outright lead to 9.
70.
Tom Wilde also has a faultless drive, but the Renault is not.
Right 2 in the short left 4 plus.
In a repeat of last round, power gremlins strike the veranda apartments entry and they struggle in the grippy uphill section of Guns.
Just got a power problem and the car lost, I reckon, about 25% of grunt. So, and it's done this same problem in the past and it's got worse and worse. So that's the only thing I'm hoping it doesn't get worse this afternoon.
Things certainly couldn't be worse for Mick Patton, stalling the Repco VW on a hairpin. After beginning so well, the delay in getting restarted sees him surrender 1 place to Mark Pedder overall.
$150.
Glenn McNeil is not unfamiliar with high-speed rallying, but he's impressed with his first experience of the new generation outright two-wheel drives.
You've got the best drivers in the country in those cars, so, I mean, these take a hell of a lot of commitment to drive fast. You know, I was probably a little bit surprised in those stages in there, like how much commitment Brendo was actually showing, and he's driving exceptionally well. And it probably takes more commitment than actually in some of the four-wheel drive cars. It's cool being in a race with, you know, with people like with Eli and Scott. Unfortunately, has obviously gone off this morning, this afternoon. But it's always good to be in a race, and you've got the best drivers in the country in these cars, whether it's in front-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, whatever it's in. It's the competition that I think drives, you know, all the boys, and whatever gets more manufacturers in our support here in Australia, all for it.
Henry Knott's two-wheel drive Evo isn't breaking records. With more weight and less drive, the car is not delivering anything like what it needs to win the Junior Challenge. That battle is being led by the Raymonds in the RX-7, with the other brother pairing, Steve and Brent McKenzie, 7 seconds behind them.
Opens to 9, 200. 200, flat crest. Opens to 9, flat crest. 150, crest into 9 left down, crest into 9 left down, into 9 right, 9 left down, into 9 right.
Coming up later in the program, former ARC champion Cody Crocker will be going head-to-head with another ARC competitor, but in a different code. The side-by-side Australian challenge between Polaris and Can-Am. For more than a season, the Polaris Razor has dominated, but this year, the release of the new Can-Am Maverick has caused Crocker some concern. And at Rally Australia, Polaris went down to Can-Am for the first time. Will Cody Crocker be able to hold off a charge from the determined and hungry Michael Guest? We'll have to wait and see. The Honda Jazz G2 is leading the charge in the final round of the East Coast Bullbars Australian Rally Championship. As he's done all season, Eli Evans has played his cards carefully in a demonstration of just how he's developed as a driver. With Honda's recent decision to withdraw from motorsport globally to concentrate on Formula One, Eli Evans is uncertain of his future and reflects on a rally driver who really has seen the power of the dream.
It is a bit, isn't it? I've had basically a full sponsored, last 2 years been fully sponsored by a manufacturer. So it's something that every driver dreams about, and I've been living the dream and just trying to make the most of it. And I think we're doing that by getting the results and rewarding Honda for all the efforts they've put towards Evans Motorsport and myself as well. They've shown a lot of faith, and it's the least I can do.
It's not just his baby James who's grown up this year. The second son of Peter Evans has done a lot of growing up himself, and that's shown in the results.
It's great to repay him as well for all the effort and all the heartache over the years where I've brought cars back to the workshop that didn't really look like rally cars anymore to getting to a level now where I'm confident in driving fast, and it's been able to win rallies and get the car through relatively unscathed and bring it home for the next event. And that's one of the key reasons why we're getting faster too, because we're always improving the car, we're not repairing the car.
For Dad and Evans Motorsport boss Peter, it would be a bit of a dream to have all his sons in competition.
All three. Jeez, Simon will probably be too old. Oh, look, it'd be great to see. Tom's got a long way to go before he'll be sort of doing ARCs, I think. But, oh no, that'd be terrific, you know, even get Kylie down from Queensland or something and have an event where the four of them are running. It'd be, I guess it would be a bit of a dream, yeah.
Turn hairpin left, uphill.
The repeat run across Adder River reverses the tables. Rally leader Brendan Reeves struggles with conditions that are more slippery than the first pass.
30. Move to left rock. Move to left rock, 7 left to medium. Let's go, Brenda. 7 left medium. 80. 8 right opens. 100 flat crest. 50 move to right rocks. 100. 10 right short rough. 50. 50. 10 left brake early. 50 narrow entry. 3 minus right sharp long. Brake early. 50. Flat 10 left narrows. 50, 10 left short, 10 left short, into 8 right short, slippy 8 left medium, 50, crest 9 right, 50, brake, rocky brow, then 8 left, tighten, slippy 5 narrows, where Scott was, tighten, slippy 5 narrow, 40.
Eli Evans' decision this morning to run the wider tyre and hope for drying road conditions seems to have backfired. His time across this stage is 1 second slower than the first pass, but Reeves is a whopping 18 seconds slower than his first run. Evans takes the rally lead by 0.2 of a second. The two fastest juniors both failed to finish. Steve McKenzie is forced into early heat retirement when a drive shaft breaks.
9. Ooh, what's that?
20.
While Glenn Raymond's RX-7 is bogged mid-stage after a spin in the treacherous conditions. Worse still, a wire on the starter is dislodged and the Mazda drops out of contention, handing the junior lead to Scott Jackson. Mark Pedder and Claire Dowling are the big winners. The number 2 Jazz G2's main objective is to score points to secure the manufacturer's championship. With his brother Scott still sidelined from SS1, all they must do is finish the heat. It's a welcome break for the Repco VW. Mick Patton finishes SS3 in 5th outright. In only his second ARC rally, Sean Urquhart is fast coming to terms with driving in slippery conditions. The little Mitsubishi Mirage might not have the outright horsepower, but it's still causing the Victorian a few concerns.
9. Oh my God. Oh, go Brown 9.
Simon Gillespie is finding his first time on gravel quite an experience.
If I was to compare it, it'd be like standing on a bar of soap in a bath, trying to dance. That's how bad it was, yeah. I'm no expert, but in my opinion, that's how bad it was.
It was several years ago in Ireland when Gillespie last rallied, and it was all tarmac. His Fiesta R1 is a fresh import from the UK.
It's just something I've always wanted to get back into. It's been 2008 since I've actually rallied, but that was on tarmac, so that's what I want to do.
Jonathan Burns hopes to get into a Ford Fiesta for the 2014 season as well, but is driving a Hyundai Getz this round.
For us, this is a stand-in car, so we're currently building a Ford Fiesta, and just wanted to get back out there really and have a bit of fun and just you know, get back out into the scene and everything. So yeah, we thought we'd come out. We leased the car from John Carney, and yeah, we're just having a ball. It's really good.
Wayne Stewart is driving an older Hyundai Excel, a one-make series popular in the Victorian rally scene. Stewart's STI WRX is in for an engine overhaul, so the car he bought for his boys has been drawn into service.
That last stage was excellent, the guns, but first one very rough and very slippery and boggy.
His times won't compare to the lead Honda, but then the bill at the end of the weekend probably won't either. Up front, Eli Evans throws everything at the final stage of the first heat. With a lead of just 0.2, he knows Brendan Reeves will be driving hard, fast and accurate.
Then 4 left in medium, then 5 right.
Their times are neck and neck, and nothing separates them at the halfway point. Unlike Evans, who has shod the Honda with new Kumos during service, Reeves just swapped the fronts to rear for this stage. The worn tyres unsettle the rear of the Mazda, and handling becomes an issue in the dying stages of Guns 2.
4 right medium opens, then 6 right, switch 7 left.
There is nothing he can do.
I didn't know the gap, but I just thought, let's just try everything in this stage. I gave it everything, and I was 4 seconds faster, so is it enough? I don't know. I was hoping Glenn would say, well done mate, 10 seconds faster, but he said 4, and I was like, really? I can't drive any faster than that. We were just using all the road. It was bloody good fun.
Eli's beaten us on that heat, but we had a really good run. He had us by 0.1, and now he's got us by 4 seconds here. Right. Yeah, so Eli should have got us.
Tom Wilde is still dealing with a loss of power in the Veranda Apartments Renault.
To hold on to third after having the problems we've had in those last 2 stages, and I'm really happy with that, to be honest.
His advantage on 4th placed Mark Pedder is too much for the Honda driver to peg back in the last stage. But Pedder and Claire Dowling are only one of 2 crews to be faster than their previous run. Theirs by a significant 11 seconds. The result is just what they want.
Tricky conditions, it's just really nice to get to the end, and I think with Scotty going out, we've tied up the Manufacturers' Championship, which is nice.
Mick Patton makes a better fist of his second pass over Guns 2. Happy the suspension changes have paid off.
Volkswagen was absolutely fantastic. Made a few adjustments in the last service, and through there, absolutely unreal. Got round the hairpin without stalling, which hopefully picked up a little bit of time from last run.
Nothing separates Evans and Reeves, but another heat win to Honda, while the wild child from the West will be happy to secure 3rd. Mark Pedder shuts the door on Renault for the Manufacturers' Championship, and Mick Patton rounds out the fastest 5 from Rally Victoria. Heat 2 is coming up shortly, but next, Can-Am and Polaris go head-to-head in the Australian Side-by-Side Challenge. It's turned on some of the closest racing in the East Coast Bullbars ARC calendar. With a new model and renewed aggression from Michael Guest, Can-Am is hungry for another win after beating Polaris at Rally Australia last round. Parity in the 2-make series has never been closer, and the dominance of Cody Crocker has finally been reined in. Michael Guest was eager to get down to business.
This is a rally I noticed in my notes when we're doing our pace notes. There's lots of long corners that tighten in, long corners that tighten in, so you're going to be committed to the line. And it's just a matter of pulling it back and not getting caught out in the slippery stuff, so a few miles to come yet.
7 left opens, brow 50.
Crocker was quick on the first 14-kilometre Adder River stage.
8 right, slow 40, 4 right, mid. Into 5 left. And 7 right short, 40, slippy 7 left. 70, 5 left mid. 50. 9 right, left.
But only by a second over Guest. Both were caught napping, though, by Ian Hughes. The Polaris driver from Tamworth was 2 seconds quicker than the factory driver. and showed he could match the more experienced drivers on pace notes and in slippery conditions. Perhaps the drier, harder road surface was to the experienced rally drivers' liking, as they both pushed through to dominate the second stage. It was guessed by 6 seconds over Crocker, and that gave Can-Am the overall lead by 4. They weren't caught on the repeat run through Adder River, 0.1 of a second apart after 14 kilometres of racing. But Hughes had hung on to their tails. He might have been pushed back to third, but it was by only 0.7 of a second. Guest extended his lead to 5 seconds coming into the final stage of the day. But not everything had gone his way. The brakes in the Maverick failed and he was forced to drive on the ragged edge. The second Maverick of Nathan Shivers lifted to third. The gap in stage was 15 to Ian Hughes, but the number 1 Can-Am languished without brakes. Crocker, meantime, was first on the road and finished unaware of the drama that had unfolded behind him.
I don't like this coming third business, that's not very good. So we've pushed on, we tried to push on in that last stage, but it's a bit of a balancing act. We've got to make sure we finish this heat to give us the series, so that's a good thing.
One thing led to another, and pretty soon Michael Guest was in more trouble. Help wasn't far away, and in an instant, he and David Green were back on their wheels and in search of the finish line.
We're leading the event and still leading after that stage. When we lost our brakes, we lost the brakes about 2.5k from the end of the stage before, and then just into a hairpin there. I just couldn't stop, and then just picked the front left up on the apex of the corner and went on its roof, and the boys rolled us back over, and we've come through. And but we couldn't have beaten the guys anyway. Couldn't have stayed in front. We just had no brakes the whole way. Disappointing. Anyway, tomorrow's another day, so damn it.
Yeah, we came out of the stage thinking we were third, and that'll do us for the heat and the series and that sort of thing. But it turns out we managed to get back on top, so how it turns around is fantastic. But yeah, sitting on the trailer, obviously we've got a trailer between the stages on the main roads, because we're not allowed to drive down those, of course. But it actually, when it's a bit inclement in the weather and stuff, you can actually sit in the back of the tow car and have a sip of something and a bite to eat and relax and recover. So it's actually quite handy in that regard.
Ian Hughes had surprised himself in Heat 1, mixing it with the experienced rally drivers. Isn't optimistic about Heat 2.
Well, I didn't expect to go as well as we did yesterday. I don't know if it was because of the wet weather. I usually don't like driving in the wet, but just everything felt good, comfortable. So I think maybe the speeds were down a bit because it was wheel spinning most of the time, so it wasn't as fast, which sort of worked out all good for me.
With the bit between his teeth, the factory Maverick driver came out to dominate Heat 2. Just the way Michael Guest likes it. The road conditions brought good times. Can-Am up by 11 at the end of the first stage.
Medium right minus long opens to a fast medium right, and slippery slow medium left minus long.
The drier roads put some distance between the 2 fastest drivers and the rest of the field. Nathan Shivers doing his best to keep his Can-Am in touch with third-placed Ian Hughes. No change through New Turkey. Guest dominated, pulling another 8 seconds on Crocker. The longer stage, Limberlost, only added to the Polaris woes. Nothing Cody Crocker did made a difference, and the Maverick extended the heat lead by another 15 seconds. The repeat runs across Benny's Up and New Turkey were better for Polaris, still trailing Can-Am, but this time the gap was closer. The final Super Special back at Lardner Park saw Ian Hughes steal a march on the main man, who'd introduced him to side-by-side racing. Crocker pushed to third through the last stage of the year. It was a formality in the end, though. Michael Guest, too good, giving Can-Am another heat win. In all, 8 of the 10 stage victories.
Right short, then ahead, narrow, fast K left through the gate. 100. Black crest, 50.
The silverware to Polaris, though, with the round win based on heats. And importantly, the Australian Side-by-Side Challenge Trophy. If the message from Cody about side-by-side racing is anything to go by, watch this space.
We've got a little something up our sleeves, though, called a Razor 1000, so we're looking forward to launching that now. That's going to be our next little thing. So, You know, we've had a ball with this 900. It's been fantastic. So, and it's served us 2 seasons now. So we're looking forward to the next one. Next machine to bring it back to them.
Up next, all the action from Heat 2 of the East Coast Bullbars Australian Rally Championship from Victoria. You're watching the East Coast Bullbars Australian Rally Championship coming to you from Rally Victoria. It's a new day, in fact, the last day of the last round in the championship. For Scott Pedder, it's not gone according to the plan he'd written for his Swiss Renault at the beginning of the season.
You know, probably once again, too many mistakes, which has probably been the thing of my career. So, yeah, just too many little mistakes which have big consequences. So, you know, come back next year and try and be a bit more consistent and try to limit the errors.
So, what about today?
I think it's always important to go out there and win the next day after you've had a problem. I mean, like similar to Rally Australia, we did that and had a problem on Friday and won on Sunday. So, you know, hopefully we can do that today. I mean, these are the stages that the guys have driven on before, and they've driven yesterday. So it's going to be tough. You know, they're going to have their eyes on, and we're going to have to drive pretty well to beat them, and particularly, you know, Brendan and Eli. So we'll see what the first corner holds, and if it feels good, we'll have a go.
He'll have to. His new teammate is now 6 points in front coming into the final heat for the year. And that means Pedder will have to fight to win back second place in the championship. But Tom Wilde still has issues with the engine in his Renault.
The race stock guys have done their best to try and find the problem, so they've changed all the sensors that we've got in the truck, and just fingers crossed that works. But yeah, it's pretty disappointing, but you know, hopefully it doesn't do it, but if it does, we'll drop a lot of time today, no doubt.
Harder road surface and drying conditions mean tyres will play a big factor in success today.
Well, we've gone back to the 205, so we're on a wider tyre than yesterday because the roads are more hard packed and wider roads. We're still on the medium because it's still only really cold this morning, and we've got an option of a hard if we want to later on in the day when we do the longer stages.
Rally Victoria is notorious on tyre wear, much like we saw at Rally Coffs. Yep. So this morning, you know, we've made a tyre choice that may work, may not work, but we'll see. We've put on a harder tyre, and we're going to see if that works. My theory is just be aggressive from the start to try and generate some heat, and then maybe towards the end of the stage, not so aggressive so the tyre doesn't deteriorate too much. So it's a gamble, but it should pay off, I hope.
Well, I think the changing conditions today are going to change the drivers' opinions on which tyres to use. This morning is going to be cooler, so most of them are still going out on the 800 medium that they went out on yesterday. But later on today, a lot of them are hedging their bets and either looking at going to the 900, the bigger block pattern, still in a medium compound, or to going to a harder compound. As the roads dry out and heat up today, I think they'll get more tyre wear, and they'll be looking for answers for that.
Eli Evans' gamble pays dividends immediately. While he's only a third of a second faster than Brendan Reeves over 24 kilometres, it provides a handy buffer.
Fast left 8 and late. 200. Care right 7 clean in over crest. Left 5. Right 7. 50, short left 6. Right 7 opens 8. Then left 8 tightens short 7. Then left 8 tightens short 7. Then opens short 9 over crest. 70, double caution, easy left 4 in. Double caution, easy left 4 in. Fast right 3. 50, short left 6. Opens 10 long. Then tightens short 9 over crest. Fast right 7. Finish, left 6. Right 4 in. Yep. That was a nice run.
That was good.
I'm awake.
Absolutely.
The Rally School Mazda 2 is 8 seconds behind, but in front of the lead Renault by the same margin. The Swiss Renault's handling is compromised with an inferior replacement shock absorber after yesterday's off.
9 right, 57 left. 30, 8 right, 80, 8 left, 80, 8 right, 50, and 10 right over brow line, 50, 9 left, and 50, 9 left again, 50, flat left on crest, 200, brake, 6 left, 3 right, 50, 7 left, 80, crest 9 left, 80, 9 right, finish 30, 7 left, into 6 right.
And Scott Pedder's choice to use medium tyres is not good.
Ran out of tyres at the end there in that slippery bit.
Yep.
Overheated. Time did you get?
16:01.
Glenn Raymond's time is 16.17.
Doing good, just keep at it. 8 left 100.
The Raymond Partners RX-7 is fourth across the 24 kilometres and in front of the other Renault.
70. Short left 3 plus. 30 brow. 50 late left 5. Left 3 plus. 30 brow. 50 late left 5. Late left 5. 90. 90 right 5. Yeah, right 5.
Unfortunately for Tom Wilde, the gremlin is still haunting the Veranda Apartments entry, and it affects his drive.
Intercom went quiet at the end there too.
Eli Evans is first car on the road. His tyres are going off.
Just saps your concentration a little bit. You start thinking about the tyres rather than the corners coming up. So I made a few little mistakes, got a little bit wide. We didn't lose any time though, so I'm pretty happy.
Brow into flat right, 100. 10 right, in on crest, 80. 9 left, 200.
Two cars make the finish quicker than the Honda Jazz. Scott Pedder is next on the road and is happier with the result this stage.
Had a stab in the dark with the shocks, and it's all wrong. It's very sideways, and so the time's only there because I'm pushing 110%. We lost 17 on the first stage, uphill versus downhill. Big surprise in the first one. I thought we had all right. I think he might have gone out on a hard tyre, which would have been the smarter call on that long one. We ran out of tyres at the end in the slippy bit.
It's the third car home that is fastest though. Brendan Reeves employing the popular tactic, slow down to record a faster time.
We changed our driving style heaps actually in that stage. We pushed a bit too hard in the first one, drove a bit like yesterday. Throwing the car around in the slow corners, then we really slowed down our entry into slow corners heaps neater. It feels 50% slower, but we went quicker, so that's good.
Mick Patton is working on his driving style as well.
Lost a little bit of time, but as I said yesterday, not too concerned about times at all. Just a matter of really trying to get the car flowing and working and going forward into next year.
After a reasonable start in the rallyschool.com.au juniors, overnight leader Scott Jackson is third behind Glenn Raymond and Steve McKenzie. Winning on points from here is a long shot for the Opticoat driver.
I don't know how much time we need to make up or how much time we lost from yesterday. So the plan is just to drive as fast as we can, comfortably, and get some good times in, yeah.
The longest stage of the rally is Limberlost, the third and final before the lunchtime service. Eli Evans and Glenn Weston bounce back to win this stage.
Opens, then tightens short 7 line.
Brendan Reeves and Glenn McNeil are just 0.25 of a second decay behind, but the Honda Jazz's lead is now out to 12 seconds outright over the Mazda 2. Glenn Raymond is chasing hard to regain control of the Junior Challenge and moves up to third in stage and third overall. But there is good reason.
10 right, 86 left. 50. Oop. Hold it. Turned out of it, good job.
By his own admission, Scott Pedder has been pushing at 110%, and that means increasing the risk of making a mistake. The other Renault hasn't been going as fast. Tom Wilde can't. Renault's engine just won't deliver the horsepower he needs. The sight of his teammates stranded on the side of the road means second in the championship is his for finishing.
Late into medium left 3. Drive accordingly.
Sean Urquhart has returned to rallying after 8 years. In only his second time in a two-wheel drive and with a new co-driver, he and Lee Eels had been doing okay. But the slippery conditions catch the Mitsubishi Mirage.
Into 3 right, into 8 right. Oh, it's going to hurt.
Henry Knott's unorthodox entry, the front-wheel drive only Evo, had him in second overnight in the rallyschool.com.au Junior Challenge. The chances of chasing down the faster cars is unlikely, but attrition is playing into his hands. Scott Jackson and Ray Baker are fine, but the Sylvia is done and dusted. The final round of the East Coast Bullbars Australian Rally Championship continues in just a few moments.
In a lot of ways, a dream come true. Like I've been competing for a hell of a long time, and to be able to be involved in a team like this, with the manufacturer, with Honda, and with the Evans Motorsport crew, really has, at 40 years of age, been the pinnacle of my career. Coming into the team, I knew that Eli, was certainly a super fast driver, and I think he's proven over the last 2 years that, he's one of Australia's best. And, to be able to be a part of that and, support him in some small way to be able to do what he's done, has been a real buzz. And, you always wish you're a little bit faster and wish you're on his pace. But, you get to the stage like I am where you're just probably just not willing to take those little risks that they're all taking. So, but yeah, like I said, to be able to be a part of that and watch him do it, support him in, any way that I could, it's been good fun. I've been actually really happy with the way I've driven this year, and I've really enjoyed it, which is a big part of it for me now is the enjoyment part of it. So yeah, and I can't have asked for more from this year.
100. As if to reinforce the point, he and Claire Dowling have, by their own admission, one of their best stages of the year. SS8, the repeat of Benny's Up.
Good work.
His teammate is quicker. Would have known that after a year of competing alongside Eli Evans.
Right 4 in. Good job.
I wonder how the tyres are.
To highlight the point about tyre wear, the Honda Jazz's wheels spin more than 10% faster than the distance they have to cover. In effect, wheels turn 2.6 kilometres more than they need to. Brendan Reeves is 30 seconds quicker this pass than last. But like all the front-wheel drives, the tyres are taking a pounding. Steve McKenzie never makes the start of SS8.
The selector on the internals of the gearbox have broken, so we haven't got a spare on us. If it was the outside, it'd be all right.
Game over?
Yeah, that's it for today.
With the Junior Challenge title back within his grasp, Glenn Raymond continues his charge, but the tyres go off and he backs off to conserve his lead.
We're going to have to neaten it up a bit because the other tyres are going to get full. Yep.
The age cut-off for juniors means that this will be Ramo's last chance, so the win is important. Ashley James is a name that hasn't been around rally circles for more than a decade. In 1999, he won the ARC Group N3 Championship in a Corolla Seeker. After an injury-enforced hiatus from rallying, James has rebuilt the same car and returned to a two-wheel drive championship. It's certainly grown up. There will be nothing to frighten the front runners in the ARC this weekend, but the return to rallying in his championship-winning car from '99 is a personal win for James and co-driver Brett Williams. The repeat run through New Turkey is the same battle as the first. Brendan Reeves leads the way, finishing in front of Eli Evans by 0.8 of a second over 13 Ks.
7 right, opens to 9 long.
The Honda Jazz is quicker than before by another 5 seconds over the Rally School Mazda 2. It's enough to keep his heat advantage of 3 seconds, but the stage win still goes to Reeves.
3 left.
Having had their best stage in a rally, the sister Jazz goes to the extreme.
Sorry. You're right. Good work.
Pedder and Dowling have a couple of moments en route to securing 4th in stage.
100. Oh, good work. Yeah, this is 6 right. 100.
For Claire Dowling, her ride with the factory Honda outfit, her family for the last 2 seasons, is coming to a close.
That's the main thing with the Honda people. They run a large corporation like a family. To me, that's a really big achievement because it means that people respect each other, they work hard for common goals. So that carries straight through to the rally team, and we have one of the most cohesive teams I've ever seen. No one argues, there's no bitchiness, it's wonderful. It's just happiness and respect and hard work. It's great, it's been wonderful.
This family approach has made for a combination that at first might not seem likely. The experienced Glenn Weston sitting alongside a young Eli Evans.
You know, I got together with Eli midway through 2009, and he was the real classic Wilde child back then. So, you know, it's been a real pleasure to see him grow and develop and as a driver over that 4 years. So I like to think I had some part in that, but I'm not quite sure.
Too good to be true almost, and it's now going, and that's life. Manufacturers come and go, but like I said, we're going to be sadder than most to lose this one because of the good relationship we've got with Honda. I guess the thing that makes it easier for us is it's not just us. They're calling in all their motorsport programs worldwide in order to go back to Formula One, and we fully respect that.
So naturally, because that's all working so well now, we're trying very, very hard to put together a deal for next year where we can keep the same crew and everything together, because, you know, we all work so well, we know each other well, and you know, we all can do the job well. So hopefully we'll be able to tick some boxes and be out there next year again. It's sad to see the Jazz go. You know, if we can finish the next 2 stages, it means that car would have finished every single special stage it's ever entered in competition, which I think is pretty special. And, you know, we want to close out 6 events for the year and a run of 12 events as well. So maybe I'll get a little tear. Yeah.
With Mackenzie and Jackson sidelined, Glenn Raymond's job in securing the Rally School Junior Challenge is made easier. The brothers finishing in front of second-placed Henry Knott. Reliability in the Honda camp has been first class all season, but Eli Evans' 100% track record isn't quite matched by the number 2 Jazz.
5 left, 50.
In a devastating, almost symbolic gesture, Pedder's car loses power mid-stage.
What's happened?
No.
What's happened?
I don't know, Mark. You got no power?
I have nothing.
Despite their best efforts and the help of modern technology, they are unable to restart the Honda Jazz. The cruel irony is they will still be out here when their teammates collect the trophies for Driver and Manufacturer Championship for 2013. Their demise and some consistent times rewards Mick Patton's Repco VW with 6th in stage. He and Bernie Webb grab a top 5 berth in Heat 2. Brendan Reeves sets out to take his 3rd stage win for the day, but fate plays into Honda's hands through the final and longest forest stage, Limberlost.
7 Ks on a flat, so yeah, that sucks. We took the hards and we basically just wanted to push as hard as we could and see what happens, but that wasn't our rally. We'd had a good run up till then, so Glenn's done a great job, the whole team. We've really enjoyed it, so we'll try and take 2nd. We only dropped 40 seconds, so I think that's a pretty good effort.
Right 5 opens.
Eli Evans wins the repeat 34-kilometre stage by a margin of 1.5 seconds per K quicker than both his first pass or the next quickest on the road. A fitting end to 2 seasons of unparalleled success for a team and manufacturer.
Yeah, it's sad, but you know, when Honda signed me up and they said we want to win, and that's exactly what I said. I shook the boss's hand. I said I'm going to do my best to win, and that's what I've done. I've kept my promise, so I just hope I've done Honda proud.
All that's left is a super special sprint around Lardner Park in a repeat of what was the Pedder's Power stage. This final stage is Eli's as well, but only just. In a last-ditch effort to claim a stage, Tom Wilde brings the Veranda Apartments Renault Sport home just 0.2 behind the 2-time Australian champion. Trailing Glenn Raymond by just 0.6 for a Heat 3rd, coming into the final stage, Wilde pulls out all stops to beat Raymond by 5 seconds.
That'll do.
So the 1 minute gap hardly indicative of the competition between the Honda and the Mazda this weekend. Tom Wilde has held on to third in heat and the rally. Nick Patton might have been fifth in heat, but his consistency over the weekend affords him fourth in the rally placings, a season PB. The big change this weekend is the Renaults. Scott Pedder's DNF allows his teammate through for second in the championship, while he must settle for third. On 293 points, Brendan Reeves is fourth, with Mark Pedder rounding out the top 5. And Honda confirmed as manufacturers champions for 2013. That's it for the first full year of the two-wheel drive outright East Coast Bullbars Australian Rally Championship. It's been a season of highs and lows with more than its share of drama. But above all, it's been the crowning of a champion team in a record-breaking effort by a manufacturer who put their money where their mouth was and backed themselves and the Australian Rally Championship. And for that, we're all grateful.
I'm relieved that we were able to clean sweep every rally for the last 2 years, and that's a huge achievement. And I'm just proud to do it for Honda.
Next year promises to be just as exciting with the emergence of a new manufacturer in Citroën. We hope you can join us again for all that action when the East Coast Bullbars Australian Rally Championship resumes in Canberra, the National Capital Rally. We'll catch you then. Bye for now.